Good morning and welcome to Backyard and Beyond. This morning we're visiting with Laura Schwendinger, and she's the County Naturalist. Good morning to you, Laura.
Good morning.
Laura, the first thing I want to visit about is this exciting event, and that's the bald eagle that we can see on our computers live.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Are you so excited as well as over 100,000 people at any one time are watching that?
Yes. The Raptor webcam is actually sitting on a Decorah bald eagle nest. And so Decorah, Iowa, northeast Iowa. And if you haven't been there and have no idea what we're talking about, the website is raptorresource.org. Once you get there, you click on the nest cams or the webcams right at the top menu bar, and right now it takes you right to the Decorah one is the default one because it's the most active. This website actually changes and switches. They also have, earlier, like January, they had owls going in different parts of the country. They also, in May here, they will be turning on their peregrine falcon cams. And so right now we're watching the bald eagles because they've just hatched their babies. The first one was on the 1st, and then just yesterday, about 6:30, we were watching the third one finally hatch.
And it is, like I say, it's exciting. I got to see, live the first baby being fed. Just, unless you have it on all the time and you sit there all the time, which then sometimes it's like grass growing, it's not much going on.
Well, and a lot of people are turning it on for the background noise.
Sure, the
on
wind.
A nice day, there can be some wind noise, but there's the birds, and things like that. So people are actually turning it on just to have that background bird natural noise.
Okay. So lots of reasons to turn it on, but it is, and if you do miss some of those big events, like the third hatching I missed, then there are those sites where you can go and see that happening. It's not live, but
they kind of cut and paste the feed, and they replay it out on YouTube. So you can actually go to their YouTube channel and click on each egg. They kind of missed the first egg. From what I've heard, that the first and the second egg were actually either hatched later in the afternoon or after dusk. And if they don't have their infrared turned on at the right time, you don't see it. So yeah.
Okay.
But this last one was actually pretty visible at 6:30 in the afternoon.
So. Very interesting. So, and I think it is interesting even to watch. Usually you can see how many people are viewing this at the time that you are viewing it, and then there's that accumulation number that's in how many hits, I don't know, in the millions. So it is, and isn't it great, Laura, that people have gotten so excited about this?
Yes, and it's really a lot of the schools are using it as an education tool to not only, kind of talk to the kids and explain to the kids that, having these babies, these bald eagle babies, are really kind of exhausting and trying, and and how long and how attentive they have to be to, well, now that they're hatched, to the babies. We've been commenting on the difference in food. They brought fish. The one day they brought a crow and a rabbit.
And you can see those things. I mean, it took me a couple looks to see. Oh yeah, that's a rabbit laying there beside this.
Right.
Talk about fast food. There it is, right there.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons actually why this is such a popular or a popular spot for eagles. When you look at the webcam, if they're zoomed out if they're zoomed out, you can see a road there. And that road actually goes right past the Decorah hatchery, which the way the camera is facing, it's actually facing towards the Decorah hatchery on Highway 9 there. So that highway that you sometimes see when it's zoomed out is the highway that goes right past Decorah and through Decorah. And this nest is actually in a guy's backyard. And they built it in 2007. And so easy food right next door, door neighbors, is the hatchery.
Pretty smart birds. You know, they plan well, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
And they're not really taking any fish from the DNR that are not viable, because what the hatchery does is on certain days they move the dead fish into a certain pool, and the dead fish kind of move into this certain pool, and that's where they get fish out of. Okay. It's an open pool.
Okay. So. Well, you mentioned the hatchery, and that was the other thing that I thought maybe it would be kind of interesting to visit with you, Laura, about is the area, and perhaps people would like to go over and visit, not just because of the eagle, but there are other things there to do, and it might make a nice little vacation. I understand that you've done that.
Yes, last month we went up there. The end of February is actually one of the latest bald eagle fests. And if you haven't heard about bald eagle fests, different parts of Iowa do a weekend long or a day long bald eagle fest. And the closest one to us right now is Saylorville does one, but also the Quad Cities, Dubuque, and then this one is called the Effigy Mounds one. That's the end of February, and we went up there, and we didn't go and go to Decorah or anything, but we went to the Bald Eagle Fest. They're right next to Prairie du Chien and McGregor and Marquette and all those kind of towns there on the Iowa side. So what we did was that they actually gave us maps and highlighted a driving route to drive by all of these nests, whether there was a couple of them that were on there that were not active, that they're there to look at, but there's not going to be a bird sitting in them. But and then there's another place that's a commercial fishery guy. He puts dead fish out in his out onto his back field from commercial fishing and going through his fishing stuff. So that was a place where we saw probably 20 eagles hanging out, eating.
like we see the geese and the ducks around here. You were watching bald eagles. My
By
goodness.
the time we got back to Atlantic, our bald eagle count was upwards of over 50.
Oh, great.
So,
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could go and spend a weekend or a week or more if you wanted to visit not just the bald eagle kinds of things, but there are so many other things there to see and do also.
Yes.
So might want to plan an Iowa vacation in that direction.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, mentioning your count, when you were there, you just recently completed a bird count that included eagles and more.
Yeah, that was the February backyard bird count. And the February backyard bird count in Iowa, our Iowa number, 507 bald eagles were counted. Okay, so we had those many individuals. And out of that 507 individuals, 18 of them alone were in Cass County. So Cass County is getting to be, and the niche is getting to be a spot where they're wintering here, and it's not out of the ordinary to see those bald eagles hanging around all winter long.
Okay, and we can watch for the nests, especially somewhere where there is a river, creek, whatever, somewhere where there's water and possibly fish. And you can't hardly miss those nests, can you?
Yeah, but, they can be very big, but also hawks can build very big nests as well. But the one in Decorah, just to give you a little thing of size, is 5 feet by 6 feet. And it's about 5 feet wide and 6 feet deep. And it's 80 feet tall up in the tree.
Okay. So they don't build these out in little bitty branches either. That's another thing, that they have to have some good support in a tree that they're going to choose.
It's got to be a good supported tree, and then they slowly build, and they always add to their nest every year. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
How long might a couple be together?
They try. They do try to mate for life. So they're one of those birds out there. But, if something happens within a couple years of the mating, they might re-nest and they might remate. But
okay. So this is a good time if you want to go out looking for the nests.
Yeah.
Before the trees get all leafed out. And watch, maybe pull over if you're going to really stop. But be looking for the nest, because then it might be easier to find the birds too.
And we average, they do have kind of a territory. They average about 3 to 4 river miles around their nest. So in Cass County, we usually just have one. The ones that we've had in Cass County have built kind of not a dummy nest, but a trick nest, one that they're not using, and they kind of have that in one area, but they're actually down in another area. So right now, our nest in Cass County, not this January, but last January, got blown through with that ice storm. So we're in the process of finding out where they've re-nested. We've got a couple spots we've been watching to try to figure out if that's truly where they're re-nesting or not here in Cass County. So if you live next to the river or have any suspicions, you can always give our office a call, and we feel free to give you guys information and help you out. Okay,
and that's Cass County Conservation. And just real quickly, you do things other than eagles. Remind us about the walk that's coming up.
Yeah, the Wildflower Walk will be April 30th at 9 a.m. Out at the Pellet Memorial Garden, just north of Atlanta.
Okay. Thank you so much, Laura Schwendinger, for visiting with us. She's the naturalist for Cass County. And here's a thought from a song that I think applies. I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone.